והגלים, טפטוף מי הגשמים, מיונקי המעמקים, עד עופות השחקים, ברקים ורעמים, רעש המפלים, הרוח בעלים, אלינו מצטרפים לשיר עליך. לשיר עליך. תינוקות חדשים בהיוולדם בוכים, אפילו העצים כפיים או חיים.
All right, I'm Dr. Riddy Seymour. I thought I'd play a little music. That's one of my favorite songs. It'll be going off in a minute. We got like 7 minutes. I'm on a little bit early. No, all we did like dancing. This is worship music. I guess you can hear it. I do not own the copyright to this song. It's a Hebrew song. The title of it is Let Everything That Has Breath Praise Ye the Lord. This is a universal song, an international song. We're going to be starting in a minute. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It just nice to be silly sometimes, you know. Break up the sadness, you know. All right. I'm taking that off. I'm Dr. Riddy Seymour, and this is our storytelling book reading number 5. We have 6 more, and this book, okay, let me get it for you. I don't want to lose my place. The book is entitled Riddy and Overcoming the Odds. I received a joint grant from Chicago Housing Authority and HUD. HUD stands for Housing Urban Development. And at one point during that time, they were issuing out grants to help people to start businesses. And so because of that grant, and I thank God, I give God the praise, I'm giving him his prompt, I was able to write 4 books from that grant. And books was published by McCurr Publishing Company. And the book can be found with McCurr Publishing Company, Amazon, Borders, Walmart, other bookstores, and online. You can order this book online and have it delivered at your door. All right. So, redeem the time. Get a good book. Read it. The people that have read this book have read it in 2 days. 2 days. Because they had experienced a roller coaster ride. They have told me they couldn't put it down. One lady told me that after she read it, she had to go lay down. She couldn't fathom the things that happened with the main character. Okay. So this book is really my autobiography written, oh my God, let me see, about 39 years ago. This book was written 39 years ago. Okay. And God blessed me with the finances to publish it. And I want to thank you for being on the show and just relax. Okay, take a break out of the news. Take a break from Facebook, the announcement, the coronavirus, and Center Disease Control, and the mayor, and the governor. And there's some of you listening to the news at 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. You're listening to the news 12 noon. Then you're listening to the 4 p.m., the 4:30, the 5 o'clock, the 6 o'clock, then 9 o'clock news and 10 o'clock news. Okay, it get to be a much. Just take a moment, get off the carousel, the merry-go-round, and let me read you a story. Let's change the pace of things. So I'm going to read this book. This book, once again, was published by McCurr Publishing Company. Can be purchased from that company, Amazon. Um, it can be purchased from Borders, Walmart. You can order it online, have it delivered to your door. A lot of people is reading this book. You know, people have read it. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to move forward. I had 6 people on, now I'm down to 3. I guess I talked too much. Let me get the specs and let's resume. Oh, now I'm down to 2. Lord have mercy. All righty. I'll be back on Monday at 6 p.m. and then Tuesday to Friday, 7 p.m. So I will not be on Saturday or Sunday. I will return Monday at 6 p.m. All right, let's read and let's discuss. Lydia and Riddy became good friends. However, her sister Diane was annoying. She always picked at Riddy because of her long hair. Diane was practically bald. One day a fight broke out between Riddy and Diane. Riddy pulled out the remaining strands of hair that was clinging to her head. She was about to lower a brick upside her head. Big Mama grabbed Riddy. Diane was never a problem again. Lydia's mother's name is Alice, who removed her from public school and enrolled her in a private Catholic school. Riddy begged Big Mama to let her follow Lydia to the new school. It was a brief stint because one day Riddy grew too quiet for Big Mama. Big Mama opened the door to her room, and there was Riddy on her knees before a white doll with a blanket on her head. Big Mama calmly explained that the family could worship only God and kneel to Him alone. Although Riddy was pulled out of the Catholic school system, Lydia remained. Lydia and Riddy would see each other after school and play in the backyard. On one particular hot summer day, Lydia nudged Riddy while the two of them were playing in the yard, and Lydia said, "Look, Sid was sitting on a crate with the basement door open and exposing himself." The girls screamed and ran up the stairs and into their houses. Riddy ran and told Medea. Medea believed Riddy and ran out of the house in a rage. Riddy quietly followed behind Medea as she walked towards the basement. Medea turned once, then got outside and told her to stay put. Medea entered the basement and closed the door. Riddy never found out what happened behind the closed door, but she had no problem with Sid anymore, and she never respected him either. However, many years later, God put forgiveness in Riddy's heart to the point where she led Sid to the Lord Jesus on his deathbed. Sid repented of his sins and wrongdoing in life. At first it was tough. Sid, this is a great time to give yourself to the Lord and ask for forgiveness for the sins you committed in your life. Let us pray a repentant prayer. Riddy explained. Sid was reluctant to pray the repentant prayer because he felt his sins were too harsh to receive forgiveness. I'm not sure if the Lord will forgive me, Sid confessed. But when Riddy and her only child, Sweetie, left out of the room, Riddy felt led to return and ask her daughter to lead Sid into salvation. Sweetie held Sid's hand and asked him would he accept Christ to be his personal savior. She explained how the Lord was sent to the earth to be our example on how to live. Then the Lord died, shedding his precious blood, and resurrected, giving us the right to salvation. Riddy stepped in to help Sid pray the repentant prayer. After Sid prayed the repentant prayer, repeating every word after Riddy, Sid accepted eternal life, and on the next day he died. Okay, so we're going to discuss here that I'm going to read a little more. Let me see what time it is. 7:03 is still early. So, what is happening here? Okay, now Riddy lived 3165 West Monroe. And Riddy family was the second black family to move on Monroe and Kizzy. They were the second black family. The first black family was the Butt family. And what happened was there was a building. And it was common for people to do this because of greed. They would take a building and split it in half and sell it as two separate buildings. That way you get more money. But actually it's one building. So Lucille, bought half of a building. And then what happened, after coming from the Deep South, Big Mama lived in Chicago for a while, and they used to live on 12th Street in Jewtown. Jewtown had been cleared out because the University of Illinois did an eminent domain. They wanted the property, and they happened to live in a building that had 4 flats. So the family had to move along with others. And it was a lot of them living in that apartment, and they was all working, so they saved money. And they saved money so that they could purchase a building so they would not have to go through there. During that time in the 50s, it was difficult. It was difficult to buy properties. It was hard for blacks to buy properties. What you had to do was make a white friend, have someone to buy the property for you, and then transfer the deed to you. So what happened, Anna White, found a Jewish lawyer, and God gave her favor with him, and she was trusting God that this man would do the right thing because he could have ran off with her money and kept the building. So that's what you had to do. So what is that saying? When there's a closed door, or you get a no, or things look hard, you look for another way. You believe God for another way. And that's what she did. She could not buy property straight out. So she found someone that could. And he transferred the title, and then the family moved into a 3-flat, that other part of the building that was split out of greed, whoever sold it, that other part, okay. But when you look at it, it looked like one building. You know, it got two porches, and then there's a banister that runs in the middle. There's only there's apartments on the first, second, and third floor, and then there's only one set of stairs to go up that lead you to the second floor and to the third floor, and there was a basement. So these two women were neighbors. They had to share the hall light bill, and I believe they had to share the water bill. So every month they would get together and make sure those two bills were paid. And so anyway, that's how they got on 3165 West Monroe and Kedzie. So in the meantime, on the second floor, um, and most buildings, when black bought property, they was family building because you bought it so that everyone would have somewhere to stay. And then if they left and come upon hard time, they had somewhere to go back to get back on their feet. And that's what that was the thing, that was the norm. And so the landlord, Lucille, she had a daughter that moved on the second floor, and she brought her girls. And one name was Lydia, and the other one name was Diane. Now Lydia and Riddy were cool. They visit each other. She would visit Lydia, and then Lydia would visit her. Okay. And then Diane would get mad, and there was always a conflict. Diane didn't want Riddy around Lydia. I don't know if she was jealous. She wanted her sister to herself. And so eventually a fight broke out between them. And Big Mama, grabbed hold of Riddy. So I guess so she wouldn't go to jail because she found a nice, big, fat, wide brick. Because she was tired of Diane always picking at her, saying mean, nasty things to her. So she was finna end it with a brick upside her head. But Big Mama intervened right on time. And after Diane had got a good whipping and she was spared the brick, there was no more problem with Diane. It was pitiful. So later on, Lydia's mother put her in a Catholic school, and where Lydia and Riddy used to go to Faraday together. They would walk together. This was way before Avella. Miss Black Negligee. Okay, so anybody want to know what the Black Negligee is about? A 16-year-old in 8th grade seducing her history teacher. You can just pull that up on YouTube or go on Facebook and listen to it. So anyway, it was way before then. She had a friend named Lydia. So the mother, the school system was okay. Back in the day, you think the school got it bad now? Back in the day, okay, it was nothing for 40 students to be in a classroom. There was no tutoring. There was no computer classes. They offer a little Spanish. They had a music department, but there was no special ed. I remember a guy named David being in our classroom, and he was blind. I mean, he was blind, not legally blind. He was blind, seeing eye dog blind. But he got around with a cane, and people had to help him around. So at that time, there was no special ed, no tutoring. The stuff we got now that our children have, they saying the system is bad, and it is, but it was really bad in the 50s and 60s. Real bad. Now the classroom sizes are smaller, but they can stand to be even smaller. And they have tutoring and special ed, computer lab, and they got all these different languages. Some schools you can go to, you can learn Chinese, French. They add foreign languages. Depending on the school, you can learn all these different languages. Uh, we didn't have that. You know, we had overcrowded rooms, and if you didn't keep up with the teacher, it was just too bad. It was too bad. The teacher wasn't stopping for nobody. If you didn't get it, you just didn't get it. You was on your own in that classroom, and class management wasn't the greatest. Because soon as the teacher turned her back to walk on the chalk, right on the chalkboard, it was nothing for somebody to throw spitballs. For those of you that don't know what spitballs are, you take a piece of paper, you spit on it, and then you roll it up, and then you throw it at somebody. Okay? So they would do spitballs, and they would make airplanes and fly airplanes through the class. And then the kids would write notes, write and pass notes. It was nothing for a fight to break out. So it was a circus. And so anyway, then I ended up working in the field of education. But I tell you, God was with me. The years I worked as a teacher, I mean, I give him all the glory. The Lord was with me. I never suspended a student, and I never put a student out. There was none but God. My students respected me. And I remember one time, it was so funny. Two guys were getting into it, and you know how they do. Well, and then they walk up on each other. And then I said, well. And I sent for a student. I got my purse out my desk, and I told this student, okay, I counted how many students I had, and I gave the student some money. And I said, okay, I want you to go downstairs to the cafeteria. I want you to get some butter cookies. I want you to get some chips. And then the two guys that was all up on each other, they stopped and they looked at me and they said, Miss Moore, what are you doing? I said, hey, you all getting ready to entertain us. And then they looked at me and they said, Miss Moore, you supposed to stop us. I said, no, y'all go ahead. Don't worry about us. We got this. I'm sending for snacks for everybody. And then they looked at it. They looked at me like, Miss Moore, come on now. And they went and they set their behind down. And then I was able to teach the class. But I promise you, I give God all the glory. Because I was with the school system. And I enjoyed teaching. But the thing was, they didn't let you teach. It was nothing for the principal to want to report, and you had to stop teaching and fill out some papers and send it. Then you lost the classroom. Now you got to get them back in order. You got to get them back interested in the lesson. So God gave me wisdom on how to deal with my classes. I had weekly rap sessions so they could talk about things to get off their chest. If they had a problem with each other, we could address it. They had a problem with me, we could address it. I had a problem with them, we could address it. So one day we had a rap session and they could talk about anything. I told them there was no limit. I would answer you. And I would answer them based on the Bible. I wasn't John the Baptist quoting scriptures, throwing scriptures at them. But I respond according to the principle of the Word of God. That's how I answer them. And then once a week, they would have a movie day. But the condition for the rap and for the movie day was that they had to be good. They had to be good. And then with the Lord a blessing upon the class, I was able to leave on a good note. I love my students. Many students received Christ. They got saved, gave their life to the Lord. Um, so it was a blessed time. But anyway, back to the story. Okay, I'm walking down memory lane. So anyway, Lydia ended up going to a Catholic school, and then I really begged and begged and begged Big Mama to go. Unknown to her, Catholic school have a tuition, money to be paid. And really was already wearing hand-me-down clothes and all that. So, they scraped the money together because really seldom asked for anything. So they managed to scrape the money together and send her to private school, the Catholic school. So they went to Catholic school. They had the mass and their cathedral, their churches are so beautiful. Trimmed with gold, got angels everywhere. There's pictures of Jesus and Mary, the apostles. Then they teach you to kneel. And then I had classes, and one of the subjects was religion, and then of course they taught reading, math, arithmetic, and social studies, and they would have their little dances on Friday night. They were trying to socialize us. They would have community dances, and you know, but I took everything too far. Cause one day I was in my room. And one thing about a mother, when it's too quiet, that kid is doing something. If your child is not bumping around, making noise, know that they are doing something they got no business when it's too quiet in the house. So it was too quiet, and she opened that door, and I had a doll, and I put a blanket on the doll, looking like the Virgin Mary, like the statue, and propped that doll up. And I was on my knees with my hands folded in a prayer. I had my hand folded in a prayer, and I was praying to the doll. And Big Mama said, "Oh no, baby, no, no, come on off your knees, honey, come on off your knees." She said, "We only kneel down and we talk to God. We're not talking to no idols and no dolls and nobody but Jesus. Anybody, we get on our knees for the Lord." Next thing I know, I was out of there so fast. I mean, she went and got me up out of there. But Lydia stayed, you know. And so that was the end of that. So I would have to see Lydia after school. I would have to see her after school. And, so that's how we kept our friendship going. And then we kept our friendship going until she became boy crazy. And at the Catholic school, them nurses was, nuns was mean. They would get that ruler and they pop that ruler on your knuckle. Boy, you ain't had no problem. I got popped one time. You had to pop me no more. Yeah, they believe in law and order up there. I don't know how it is now, Now they don't even wear the habits and the robes and the beads. They just dress like everyday people, you know. And I think one day I asked one, I'm like, how come y'all don't wear the habits and the robes and the beads? And she said that, they had room for them to dress and look like everybody else so that people would be more comfortable with them, that they could relate to the people and the people could relate to them. And they have a better rapport with people if they look like the people. So I was like, okay, that's reasonable. I guess with the habit and the long dress and the robe, I guess they look too sacred, out of reach, out of touch. So anyway, I wasn't in that Catholic school too long. I think I might have did 2 months. But Big Mom grabbed me up out of there. So then, let me see. What do I want to say? So one hot summer, Lydia and Riddy was in the backyard, and unfortunately, the step grandfather, who known as Sid, was an alcoholic. And when they said, I kind of chuckle whenever I go to an establishment or I walk past a bar, and then it said alcohol, it said spirits, and whoever got that revelation, yeah, spirit. When people are under the influence of alcohol, they do some anything. It's like they lose control of their mind. They lose their coordination. That's why they tell people don't drink and drive, because your coordination slowed down and you don't respond as quick. And unfortunately, people have drunk alcohol and have raped people, molested people. Strange things happen when people tap into alcohol. So unfortunately, my really step grandfather, he was not allowed to drink in the house. He had his man cave before there was even man cave. Medea, the queens of the house, Big Mama, Anna White, and Medea, they weren't having it. You had to be in the basement. And you keep your liquor in the basement. Liquor was not allowed in the house. And so one day he just had a little bit too much, and the basement door was open, and Riddy and Lydia were jumping rope. They were playing and having a good time. So he decided to expose himself. And Lydia saw it first because Riddy back was to the basement. And Lydia saw it first, and she said, "Look," and I was looking at this shocked look on her face. She was like that. And so Riddy turned around and she looked, and then they both screamed. Okay. It's so amazing. Children know when something is off. They are so sensitive. They might not be able to put a form to it or a face to it or a word to it or an understanding to it, but they built inside. They know when something is wrong and off. So that was totally off. So then they ran upstairs. Lydia went home. Riddy ran inside and told Medea what happened. And it was a blessing that Medea listened and believed her, because unfortunately, time have changed where children are molested, raped, fondled, and they try to tell their mothers or try to tell an adult, and they are ignored, and they choose to believe the adult over them. When a child tells you something, believe it. Oh my God. I don't care who it is. Even if they are own father or their own mother, children have an innocency about themselves. And if they explaining and describing adult stuff, what do they know about that? Then it has to be real. So anyway, it was a blessing that Medea believed it. And she went down there and she took care of her business. She handled her business. Really don't know what he said, what she said, or what she did. Probably went upside his head. Who knows? But she told Riddy not to follow her, and she was very calm. And if a child tell you something, stay calm, because if you're raising your voice and you're screaming, even though you're expressing anger for those that do believe them, then you frighten the child, and you make the child feel guilty and like the whole scenario is their fault, and it's not. And then they won't tell you nothing. Anything else happen in their life, they know not to tell you because you're going to get theatrical. You're going to get dramatic. Okay? You're going to be yelling and hooping and hollering. So they rather not say nothing because they don't want to go through the drama. Your drama lead to trauma. Okay? They end up being traumatized. They're already traumatized because somebody did indecent exposure. They're already traumatized because somebody molested them. They're already traumatized because they was raped and somebody groped them. Fancy word for feeling on them. Okay, feeling on their breasts or they behind. They already traumatized, and then here you come bringing more trauma to the whole situation, scarring them up. Then later on in life, they got to get saved, and God got to deliver and heal, and they got to go for therapy and counseling. Oh my goodness. So anyway, it was a blessing that Medea believed Riddy. Okay. So we don't know what happened in that basement, but she took care of the business, and there were no more problems with Sid. But however, that child lost respect for him. Adults, be careful how you handle children because they will lose respect for you, where before they look up to you in a trusting manner, and now they lose respect. They lose respect. Where you was once precious in their eyes, now they like yuck. You're yuck. You're yuck to them. So anyway, I had she had unforgiveness in her heart for that, you know. And years would pass. About 40 something years would pass before she could forgive him. And then Medea died first. She passed away. That was surprising because usually black men pass before the wives. But she passed away. Sid lived an extra 5 to 7 years. And then Riddy kept up with him. She kept up with the family. And then she found out he was in the hospital and it wasn't looking good. And surprisingly, he was very alert laying in bed, but his vital signs was horrible. And they said he was on his way out. But Riddy looked at him. It's like, he looked all right to me. You know, but he wasn't all right. Sometimes we look okay on the outside, but the inside is all messed up. And that was the case with Sid, you know. He probably had cirrhosis of the liver and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, it was time for him to die. So by then, Riddy was a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And asked him, did he want to be saved? And then he's like, oh, I don't know, you know. It's never too late to accept the Lord. It don't matter what you did or didn't do, what you said or didn't say, who you been with or who you wasn't with. As long as there's breath in your body, there's an opportunity for you to know the Lord. So Sid felt like he did too much evil in his life and that the Lord couldn't possibly want him. So after Riddy tried, and Sweetie, her daughter, because by then Riddy has a baby girl, and Sweetie, her daughter, you know, left out the room and they were walking towards the elevator. And then Riddy had an overwhelming feeling like, he need to get saved. So Riddy sent Sweetie back into the room. And Sweetie was like a preteen. And she had accepted the Lord. And she went back in and she talked to Sid about the Lord. and explained the plan of salvation about Jesus being the Son of God. And he seemed to open up and be receptive, and really was like in the back. So then she walked up, and then she said, well, see it, repeat the prayer. And he repeated everything that she said. Lord Jesus, forgive me of my sin. I believe that you are the Son of God. Save me. And then Riddy and Sweetie prayed for him. And the next day he was gone. He was gone. So when you feel the unctioning to do or say something, do so. That is the Lord moving upon you. Do so. So anyway, Sid ended up going to the Lord. And okay, I got a half hour. So I'm going to read another section that I think you would like and talk about it. Okay. Now, the year that Riddy returned to the Chicago Public School, remember she was pulled out because she was found in her bedroom kneeling before a dial praying. And Big Ma, like, look, we kneel before Jesus. Get off your knees. So anyway, Riddy returned to the Chicago Public School system. She did not return to the school system alone. Riddy's companion was a pair of tan, hideous, dinosaur-looking orthopedic shoes that would accompany her to the 5th grade. It was during an annual physical that the doctor noticed problems with Riddy's feet, ankles, and calves. She had a limp. Madeira proudly announced to the baby girl about the new pair of shoes. Riddy thought that the shoes were cute until she met BJ. The first day of school was exciting. As a kid, I always liked the first day of school, all the holidays, summer, and Christmas. They were my favorite time of school. All in between, I could take it to school. And then, surprisingly, when I became a teacher, I felt same way. First day of school, last day of school. That was my favorite time. That was my favorite time of the year as a teacher. When the school doors open and when they close. And all the holidays. That was it. I love my students. I don't want nobody to think I didn't. But I did. I did. So anyway, the doctor found out that Riddy had a limp, and so she had to wear these orthopedic shoes with braces. The shoes had braces to straighten her out, to align her body. And Riddy thought the shoes were cute because she was getting something new. Now remember, she always got her cousin Deb hand-me-down everything, clothes, shoes. The only thing she had new was underwear. Big Mama would faithfully order underwear from Sears Robot catalog. She faithfully ordered underwear. So she knew she gonna get a new bra and a pack of panties and maybe one or two slips. But other than that, her clothes was hand-me-down. Her shoes hand-me-down. So when Madeira told her she was getting a pair of new shoes, she was ecstatic. New shoes, okay? And they were beige orthopedic shoes. And to her, they were cute. But they weren't cute to BJ. The first day of school was exciting and everyone was happy. Miss Harper, Riddy teacher, had given everyone their seating assignment after making out a seating chart. Once the class settled and after going over several lessons, Mrs. Harper called Riddy to her desk. That is when BJ called out attention to Riddy's shoes, that yellow heifer. Riddy was very hurt and embarrassed. The whole class burst out in laughter. The teacher finally settled the class, but for the next 6 months, BJ and her gang teased Riddy before and after class. Riddy's only refuge was in class or at home. That's the only time she would have peace, if she was in class or at home. Other than that, BJ and her little gang. It seemed that everywhere Riddy turned, the gang would appear. Riddy once pretended to have lost the shoes, hopeful that Big Mama would let her wear her sneakers. But Big Mama would pull out her strap, and Riddy would magically find the shoes. Then on another occasion, Riddy scraped them up until black marks appeared. But Big Mama cleaned them up with good old kitchen cleanser and then shined them. Riddy did everything she could to lose the shoes so she wouldn't have to wear them to school, so she wouldn't have to be teased and made fun of by BJ. But deliverance was in the house. One day, BJ and her mom came to class to return her books. Mrs. Harper signed BJ out of class. She was moving out of the school district or something. Who cares, thought Riddy. It was the end of BJ and the gang's constant terrorist attack against Riddy. Through the years, Riddy wondered what happened to BJ. And how could such a beautiful girl be so ugly? BJ was a gorgeous, high yellow gal with blondish brown hair, but she was a mean heifer. The rest of the year was a breeze. Okay, we're going to stop right there. So what happened there is, as I said before, Riddy always got hand-me-down. She was excited to have something new. And it was cute to her. But these was orthopedic shoes with the brakes in them to bring her body into alignment, because she had a limp. And first day of school, she went there looking all cute with her brand new orthopedic beige shoes with the brace in it. And the teacher called her to the desk. Because when school started, the student come in, they just let everybody sit down. You sit wherever you want. Then the teacher would pull a chart out. Then she'd make you line up, and then she would assign seats. You know, I got to sit in the front of the class because I had a hearing problem. I had problems hearing, so I had to sit close. And so I got called when it was time for a group of us to get up so we can get our seats. And I walked to the front. I don't know what BJ said, but it wasn't nothing nice. Nothing nice. Nothing nice. And the whole class was laughing at me, and it was a horrible situation. I don't know why young people just can't go to school and learn. So bullying is nothing new. It's nothing new. Where there's kids, they're going to be bullies. Adults have to pay closer attention and nip it in the bud. And if a kid tell you somebody is bothering them, don't be like, oh, y'all falling out now, later on y'all be friends. I know you've been hearing about children killing themselves because they can't get no relief. You know, they tell the teacher is tired and stressed out and like, oh, go somewhere, go sit down. They won't listen to them. Then they go home and tell mom and dad, and they like, well, suck it up. Just go to school, pay attention, ignore them. They say ignore them. Okay. And then there's been reports of children jumping off of bridges, hanging themselves in the closet, ODing because of bullies. Oh boy. I just don't understand why children just can't go to school and learn, do their homework, don't bother nobody, and go home. So anyway, and anytime you have to put someone down to make yourself look better, you have insecurities. This young lady was beautiful, gorgeous, but she had ugly, and I know I'm not gonna be popular. I don't care. I've been delivered from people alone. I look like a goldfish. Alone. I've been delivered from people a long time ago. Your opinion don't matter. What matters to me is how God feels about me. That's what matters to me. But I'm about to say some stuff gonna make some people upset. You men. Okay, I know my daughter watching is like, oh ma, please don't go there. Please don't say that. I'm gonna say it. It need to be said. And then I'm gonna turn around and hit on the women. Look, you men, you so busy looking at the outside. I know God created you all to be visual. I understand that. Nobody want Godzilla. Nobody want Frankenstein or his bride. I get it. But don't base everything on a woman look. What is her character like? Because when you get her and you live with her, that beauty gonna fade. What are you left with? Nasty attitude, being mean, snappy, you know, selfish, self-centered, self-absorbed, you know. And if you meet a woman and she may be a little plain, you can put some hair on her. Say, come on, baby, let's exercise together. You could do that. Then you see Tyler Perry movie with Jill Scott. Oh, get excited over her shape. She got a Coca-Cola shape. She got baseball bat legs. Then you get with her, marry her. Not everybody, but too many. You get with her, marry her. She can't cook, don't know how to do laundry. All she know how to do is look pretty. And then that gonna wear out. And then she may be high maintenance. Want to get her nails done all the time. Always in the beauty shop. But mean and nasty. Not all, but too many. Okay? Look at the character. Do she have the fruit of the spirit? Love, joy, peace, temperance, meekness, gentleness, goodness, faith, long suffering. Is she kind? Is she nice? Is she gentle? Look at the character. And if she don't look all that, the little plain Jane, you can fix her up. Come on. Pick out the clothes you want to see her in. Baby, I want to see you in this. Hey, hear all these horror stories always coming back to me. You women, you want them tall, dark, and handsome. My case, it was tall, light, with good hair. But you so busy looking at how fine he is. Then he gets you somewhere and beat your tail. How do he relate to people? What kind of relationship do we have with his mother? What type of relationship do we have with women? Do he dog women, mistreat women? Because guess what? If he dog and mistreat women, he going to dog and mistreat you. So, and I know the Temptation had a song that was a hit when I was coming up. Beauty is only skin deep. We got to get this. Beauty is only skin deep. I was singing, but I'm really not a singer. I'll spare you. But listen to the word. Beauty is only skin deep. Matter of fact, those of you, when you get off Facebook, go on YouTube and pull up the Temptation Beauty Only Skin Deep. You know, songs of those time had messages and had lessons. It wasn't a lot of yelling and then curse words and talking up under the clothes and all that. The song back in the 60s and 70s had messages, had was teaching, instructing. You know, BJ was beautiful. Beautiful outside, ugly inside. Fellas, you want beauty inside and out. And like I said, if she don't look all that in a bag of chips, just get her some hair, get her some makeup, send her to the salon once the band is over. You know, go there with her, tell the hairdresser how you want her hair done. That's all you gotta do. Fix her up. Fix her up. And then women, you don't like the guy because he don't wear the latest fashion. He might shop at Goodwill. He get it, and then he not shopping at the trendy men's stores. Well, baby, all you got to do is charm and say, honey, especially if you marry him, help him spend his money on him. Uh, Sweet talking. Well, I want you to go somewhere with me. It's a surprise. I'm gonna fix a nice dinner for you afterwards. If you go, where we going? Oh, don't worry about where we going. Come on, follow me. Then go to a clothing store and go in there, and then say, baby, hey, why don't you try this? I want to see how you look. Then when you put something on, oh, you look sexy. You got it going on, you know. And then if he think he gonna hit it that night and he gonna be cheesing all over the place, he'll let you buy it. He'll let you spend the money for him to get it. People want to please you when they're in a relationship. So anyway, oh God, ain't nobody probably listening to me no way. Yeah, you keep letting your eyes get you in trouble. So anyway, what happened? BJ ended up being a personal terrorist. Whenever she saw Riddy and them shoes, Big Mama was determined that Riddy was gonna wear them shoes, even though Riddy tried to. She pretended like she lost them one day. She got up. Oh, I can't find the shoes. I don't know where they at. Can I just wear my gym shoes to school? And when Big Mom pulled out that belt, all of a sudden Riddy knew where they were. Then another time she decided to mock them up. She took her 2 feet and she began to rub them against each other. And she created some black marks. Big Mama was a strong woman. She got that kitchen cleanser and that brittle pad or SOS pad or whatever. That one was strong. She got all them black marks off. Then she shined the shoe. She shined the shoes and really had to wear those shoes. And every second every time she would see BJ. Now in class you can't do nothing because the teacher watching. But as soon as class was over with, or before class, that's why Riddy would try to go to school right at the time. So as soon as the door opened, she would escape BJ and her gang and go sit down. But then when the bell rung, they be outside, taunting Riddy, talking about the shoe, talking about her. And it would just hurt her little heart. And she cried a many a days. but deliverance came. Don't know what went down, but one day Riddy was sitting in the classroom and BJ and her mother came in, and BJ had like a strange look on her face, almost like shame or something. I don't know what happened, but God sent help from the sanctuary, and BJ mother signed out of class, returned the book, and the rest of the school year was a breeze because BJ was gone. And even though BJ was gone, the gang was still there. But like they say, if you can get rid of the head, you won't have no problem with the rest of them. That's right. You surrounded by young people. You surrounded by a group of girls or a group of guys, and you got that one leader that's initiating and provoking everybody to give you problems. I don't promote violence, but you have to defend yourself, and you'll hear about defending self on Monday when Riddy thought she was David going up against Goliath. Two Goliaths. They got a good butt whooping. Okay? But Riddy gets suspended and they don't. So anyway, you'll hear about that Monday. But young people, you find yourself in a situation like that, adults don't want to listen, the police don't want to listen. Take the leader out. I'm not telling you to shoot nobody, okay? Back in the days when they had fight, it was either it was hand-to-hand combat. And then you pull somebody's hair, or you kick somebody, or you bit somebody. That was about it. This stuff they doing now, shooting people, no, I'm not telling you to shoot nobody. But you can lay hands. Lay hands good enough, they leave you alone, and then they'll disperse the crowd. That will disperse the crowd. I'm not telling you to kill nobody, shoot nobody, okay? But I have enjoyed my time with you. And once again, this book is entitled Riddy Overcoming the Odds. And you can find it at McCurr Publishing Company, Amazon, Walmart, Borders, local bookstores. You can get it you can order it online, have it mailed to your door. I want to thank those that have come to be with me. This is the 5th book reading. I'm doing a total of 11. I'm not going straight through the book. I'm kind of like moving around. We got 6 more readings, and then I will get into a series. Yeah, I will get into a series. I started coming on Facebook to share info commercials, to give free information, and to encourage people to start up their non-for-profit. The first series was on the 11 benefits of the 501c3. The next series, which will be sometime in April, will be on grants. I'm going to share information on that. And so in between the series, the 2 series, I decided to do a book reading. I felt led to do a book reading, to break the atmosphere of the heaviness. It's nice to just break away, laugh, have some fun. I want to leave a tip, since many of us have been mandated to stay home, and the only time you are to go out, and that will be enforced at 5 p.m. tomorrow, is strictly for grocery, to pharmacy to pick up your medication, to get gas. You can go for a walk. But to visit and hang out, there's nowhere to eat because all the restaurants are closed, except for those that can provide drive-through and pickup. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of restaurants that are hurting because they don't have drive-through, and a lot of them don't have delivery. So some businesses not gonna be able to open back up. But one tip that I want to leave with you is that make sure you exercise while you home. And I woke up this morning and my right leg was numb because you don't want to do too much sitting. You want to get up and walk around, exercise, because you want circulation. You know that numbness come when you end up with poor circulation. Okay, the numbness, it feel like your leg went to sleep or your arm went to sleep. Make sure you get some exercise. Follow the protocol. They telling people to drink plenty of water. They telling people to do that 6 feet social distance. Okay, well since you can't go nowhere, that's a whole lot of feet of social distance. They telling people to work on their immune system, keep their immune system built up. You know, get your vitamins. Make sure you eat healthy meals. Get your vitamins, minerals in. Get your veggies and your fruit. Um, to hang on to your sanity. Reconnect with people that you haven't talked to, so you don't feel isolated. Um, you can talk to people. You know, cell phone, Facebook chat, Zoom. You can talk to people, email, you know, so you won't feel so isolated. And you want to avoid cabin fever and you want to avoid depression. Um, I think what would also help, I got a minute, then I'm gone. Another thing that will help if you make yourself out a schedule, then that help you stay focused and help you get your mind off of what's going on. You don't want to keep hearing this. Yes, you should hear it so you can have the information. Yeah, but you don't want to keep hearing it and it begin to be overwhelming and frightening. So what you want to do is make yourself a schedule. Put some fun things in there. Put some things you haven't done in a while. You know, if you do arts and crafts, do some, make a quilt, do some jewelry, make some jewelry, write a book, uh, send letters and emails to people, call friends, call family, reconnect, play games, especially if it's two or more of you in the house. Play games, you know. Okay, play Uno, play Twister, you know, play games. It's so much that you could do inside. Write poetry, okay? Do you like to write poetry? Write songs. Are you a songwriter? Write songs. Read your Bible. Pray. Spend some time with God. You know, then you got Netflix, HBO, you got Bet, you got all these streaming, TV streaming. I'm looking forward to seeing a movie on March 26th. And I thought it was a 1 day, but it is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4 day event. And it is the life story of Madam C.J. Walker. I can't wait to see that. I have heard about Madam C.J. Walker all my life. I read every book I could get my hand on. I even saw a play that they did at the Goodman Theater years ago about her life, Madam C.J. Walker. She was the first female millionaire in the United States, and she was the first black female millionaire in the United States. And the Lord blessed her to build an empire. And she was a born again Christian. Yes, she was. She was a born again Christian. And God gave her an idea and she ran with it and she became prosperous. During this season, during this time, this is the time to seek God for creativity, innovation, witty invention. Watch me, mark my word. A lot of millionaires are going to come out of this. This is the season and time God can give you a business idea that will bring millions to you. This is the season of entrepreneur. This is the time to be a mother of invention. So this is Dr. Riddy Moore signing off. Once again, you can Riddy Overcoming the Odds. You can purchase this book from Maker Publishing Company, Amazon, Border, Walmart. Order it online, have it delivered to your door. I enjoyed this. Even if I was on here by myself, I would still have a good time because I know somewhere down the line somebody will view it and this will bless somebody. I'm okay about it if I up here by myself. But then again, I'm not by myself. The Lord is with me. So if I could do something to brighten your day, give you a break, you take a mental break on what's all happening, make you laugh, make you glad, I'll do all that I can. So signing off for now. God bless. Godspeed.